Hey guys, and welcome back to Lift More Monday. Today we're going to be talking about rotational med ball throws and how we can use rotational med ball throws to be able to really get into and out of our hips and train our ability to access internal rotation and external rotation of both the acetabulum on the femur and the femur on the acetabulum while we're developing power and control in all three planes of motion. So there's a lot of bang for your buck here if you know how to perform the med ball throw right. The problem is a lot of people use compensatory movement to get around having to use the proper position. So Cody's going to demonstrate just a regular rotational scoop med ball throw. In order to do this properly, our goal is to load this back hip into internal rotation and adduction by putting our weight more here and then internally rotating the acetabulum on the femur and the femur on the acetabulum with good trunk rotation. And notice he's diving these abs in so that he's not rotating through his back. From here, now that he's loaded up, he's going to fire off that med ball. Go ahead. Good. Back up just a little bit. And he's going to show another one where he loads up. And now the key is once he's in this right hip and he's in right stance phase of gait, he needs to get off of that and produce power to get out of it. Good. Go one more. Good. So our goal here is to be able to load both hips and then be able to push off. So when Cody goes to push off of that back hip down that it's loaded, he's going to externally rotate the acetabulum on the femur and the femur on the acetabulum. The muscle that's going to do this for us is our right glute max, which is the king of the pelvic floor. So if we're able to load that hip and then push off of it and actually use a glute max with good abs and not our back, then we have a really good bang for our buck exercise here. So Cody's going to go a couple more. Really going to emphasize, now that he's getting into that right hip, he's going to emphasize pushing off and rotating his hips through the box to make sure that he's getting that glute max in the transverse plane to fire the ball in the wall. Go ahead, pause. Pause this time. And so you'll see, go ahead and do some more. As he pushes off, he's driving an internal rotation on that left hip now and getting external rotation of his right hip. And now just do a couple more retake pulls out. So you'll notice he's still loading and exploding through that right hip. For a second. So the key to this is to make sure that we're not just rotating through the back, and that we're actually loading into the hip and then pushing out of that hip. So just do a couple where you're only moving through your back and your trunk. As you can see, the ball's going to go over the hip, but he's also not actually exploding through his hip at all. And one more good one. So again, we can get a lot of not only triplanar stability, but triplanar power for being able to load and explode from that hip, which is good for everything from running mechanics to gait to rotational sports like golf and baseball. We need to be able to access both of our hips and get into stance phase, which is categorized by internal rotation, but then also be able to push back out of those hips and externally rotate on both sides. And this is a great way we can train that in a very dynamic and powerful fashion. And that's Lift More Monday. We'll see you guys next week.